We is hot. We hot. We here. It's up. And y'all lucky today I ain't wear the mask because I felt like I needed to wear the mask because it was a stick up.
Ooh.
It was a stick up, But we're gonna talk about it. We're gonna get into it. What's up, B?
2 fights, somebody was like, my DraftKings, need to look good, even though it didn't make sense with the fight. But we'll talk about it. But that's like the only real thing that stuck out to me because I was just like, what?
No, it was two of them, maybe two.
It was
two
two.
or three, maybe.
Nope, it was two. You thinking about last week too? Nope, it was two.
It's always at least one every week, but like this week, it was just like, hold up. Now y'all doing something different. But the smart thing that a lot of guys was doing was getting it done.
Yeah, you cannot leave it up to the judges
exactly.
because it might not work out in your favor. Even though you did everything you were supposed to do, they're looking at something else. And I like what Dean Thomas said, keep it consistent so the players know what they need to do. Yeah. But my thing is go in and finish it and get it done every time. But I know that doesn't happen all of the time. But I think you have to be more about taking risks because more than often they tend to work out in your favor if you have the confidence behind it and you have the proper training. But I think people are starting to coast to the end and it's not working out in their favor at all. So like that's not something that I would encourage people to do. Yeah, if they're trying to make a bunch of fights in a year, but all of them can end up in L's, and that would defeat the purpose. So, you got to pick and choose your battles, but I think it's starting to show that you need to pick the take them out battle all the time.
Yeah. That mindset part, that confidence building. But, it's good that this is how we starting to show off right now. This is how we started off. We getting right into it. We ain't no feints. Ain't no filling out process. Just getting right into it. If y'all don't know what we talking about UFC Vegas 55, Holm versus Vieira. We really gonna get into it. It's the RoundHouse RoundTable. It's me, Armani T. I got B in the house. Hey, it's the RoundHouse RoundTable, and we better than cable. Let's get it.
I swear my glow up in lightning. Hot, yeah, something like lightning. This shit a hit on my psychic. She want me lick, I'm excited. See, I feel that's my business, and that's why I'm business minded. Need a push, get behind it. It's a science, apply it. Worst come to worst, so tried it. Get it bad, get inspired. Shoot your shot, just the effort. I admire. Get high, it ain't looking for friends at this point.
Oh my God,
my circle is smaller than the point. I'd rather sit in voice than hearing the fake on their voice.
We already have business report. Let's get it. We gotta get it. So UFC Vegas 55 was a night of knockouts and a night of robberies.
Ooh.
So we gonna talk about it, and the best way we could talk about it is with the no cap recap. So let's get into the no cap recap. Started off with Sam Hughes versus Elise Reed. Sam Hughes came in there strong. Normally, it always seemed like she got to get beat up a little bit. She got to get touched up a little bit.
She got to know what she up against. She got to figure out which level to bring. So that might be what that is.
And then gets that takedown. And then the person that she's fighting, like, what the fuck? Wow, what happened? I was having a good time tagging you in your face.
Huge ground game, and the control that she had was crazy because she kept taking her to the ground and just keeping her there.
Yeah.
She tried to get up. It was not working out in her favor. And those were the weakest bumps I've seen in my life. You could be dead tired and it was just like it wasn't doing anything, and I was just like, are you serious? And then she ended up getting a TKO. It's probably from them weak bumps, maybe she was just out of gas. I don't know. Hey, cardio is going to be your best friend. It's going to help take you longer and, take you to the deep waters that you need to get to for your opponent to start making the mistakes they need for you to capitalize on. But if that gas tank's not there, then what are you relying on?
Sam Hughes, if she keeps taking like that punishment that she has to take, She's gonna be like the train. She's gonna be one of those people that like take a lot of damage and then comes through at the end. But that could help with her targeting her boxing and working on her boxing, because a lot of the times it's just the jab that gets through with her the most. Every time, like anybody that she's fighting against, the jab gets through. Like whether she wins or loses, the jab is constantly getting through. So if it's just because she has the movement, it's just, I think it's just her time, and once the way she strikes, the seconds before she strikes is always like it's telegraphed. Like you could tell it's coming. I think that, you know, tightening up on small little techniques boxing wise with that, and at least Reed, those bumps that you was doing was hurting my feelings, but I know you were tired. So for bumps to get you up off your butt and get you up, the closer your foot is to your butt and then bump. That's the best bump that you're going to get. The closer your foot is to your butt and then hips up.
What the commentators say, if DC say you got it, take it to the bank.
Oh my
you're gonna
goodness.
get it.
Exactly.
You're gonna get it with the arm bar. Man, them commentators they relentless. They need to go ahead and just hire Dean Thomas and let him commentate
by himself.
By himself with nobody else, because all of this coaching that's going on is so exhausting and annoying. Just let these people fight.
Dean Thomas for commentator. I'm putting that in because it's like he's always spot on. He doesn't necessarily have to coach and tell them what they need to do. He can speak on exactly what's happening, even in the small moments where they say, "Hey, Dean, what do you think?" He'll say something that completely sums up the whole fight and will tell you everything that's going on in those short seconds, and be spot on. And it's like the ones that's the commentators, they're like coaching. It's almost like they're getting bored of what's happening when they want to fill in the in-between so bad, they end up coaching. Yeah. Which doesn't really help.
Nope.
And speaking of coaching, there's a lot of coaching for Chase Hooper versus Felipe Colares.
Ooh.
And Chase Hooper, he did his thing. I like to see his progression. And I understand why they kind of push and they love Chase Hooper, like, because one, he's a young guy, he's coming up in the fight game, and he's actually good. He has good jiu-jitsu, he has good hands, and it's just like they just watching him grow in the UFC. So it's just like, I understand you wanting to see him do great, but let that man swing.
Yeah, and Chase Hooper and Sam Hughes were the underdogs that end up, TKO their fight, because most likely, if it goes to the judges, they may go in the favor of the favorite, and that's something that I noticed as a trend. So it's great that they went in there and got it done. And then Chase, he came in with nonstop pace. He was just always in Felipe's face, closing the distance and making sure he was close enough to do what he needs to do. And the ground and pound in the third round was just phenomenal.
Yeah.
And that's when he ended up getting the TKO. And Felipe, he looked tired in the third round. And then after that rear naked choke attempt, he successfully got out of it via coaching. But he still ended up getting a TKO at the end. Yeah. So, you could do everything you want and want a certain person to win. But, the other opponent also hears you, and they're going to capitalize on these moments when they see that they're adjusting to what the commentators are saying.
Yep. I think they're gonna see what happens, and a lot of times it's just like, if you ever been like rolling and had your coach shout something out and that's all you needed to get a finish, like sometimes that's all it is, and they're doing just that.
Yes.
They're doing just that. So it's just like, it's almost like you're contributing to their success when you're supposed to be from a neutral standpoint.
Exactly.
So I don't know how they're going to continue to do that. Like, or if they like, because I noticed in the beginning, it's like somebody tells them like, "Hey guys, make sure you guys not coaching as much." And then that's when the first 3 fights they won't be coaching, and that's when the 4th fight come and they start talking about the in-betweens and what you need to do to get out of this. Like, come on, man. Shout out to Chase Hooper on getting it done again. Can't wait to see you fight again.
And performance of the night.
performance of the night. Keep going up.
Yep.
Keep going up, taking the fights that you're taking. But I feel like Chase Hooper eventually is going to, his competition level is coming close. And I don't know if it's all the way in the top 10. That's the thing about that. Like, you know, sometimes it just takes time and experience, but I just hope that like he understands that he has time and he can develop his game inside the gym as well, not just in the octagon.
Ooh, you know? I like that. Yeah.
You know, next, Jonathan Martinez versus Vince Morales. What you think about that?
I think Morales had great counters, but he was also taking a lot of beatings. Like he had that big ass knot that they was trying to cover up after round 1. You could even see they immediately covered it up. They did not want it to show on camera. I didn't know if they, were trying to avoid the doctor from stopping it, but that thing was swollen. Martinez, he did a great job in round 1. He controlled the round. And he was fucking him up with them leg kicks in round 1. His leg, it just looked like it wasn't very good anymore. And he did a great job controlling round 2, keeping him worried about the leg kicks, because you can tell he was very nervous about it. And so he was just doing a great job attacking the body. So I didn't have any complaints about the unanimous decision that went on here, because it was very just.
Yeah, it was like levels better. It was like levels better. And then when it was like takedown time, that's when he just got his takedowns, did what he needed to do. Put his hands on him, 57%, 88 significant strikes compared to his 51. Because like Morales was swinging for the fences. And Martinez was just, keeping, it's almost like he was in sparring practice with somebody that was just throwing punches at him. Like just, and he was just keeping his technique, staying sharp. And, getting his takedowns as needed. Yep. He was levels better. He did what he needed to do.
Technique will take you far. No matter what you're doing, technique will take you far. Hey, look at this. Both Morales is lost back to back. No? Okay. All right. My bad.
Yep. You segued. I'm gonna call him Medic. I know it's like Medic or something like that, or Medic. The Medic. The doctor, medic. That's why they call him the doctor medic. Duh. But
but there was a lot of coaching for Morales about his jab to be straightened. And then once he did hear that from the commentators, he did straighten it up, but it was not enough for him, and it was too late for him. Medic, already won this fight at this point.
Yeah,
there was not much he could do, even though he did straighten up his jab. But I thought that was something interesting, and he did a good job attacking the full body. But like I said, Medic got the better advantage of him. TKO in round 2.
Left hand. Ooh, a lot of guys don't be worried about that left hand, and then that's when it just sneaks you every time. So Omar Morales is like he was doing a good job. His confidence was there, but it's like Medic was just not. He was not going to be denied. That was like one of those things. He was just swinging with bad intentions, and he was really trying to get him out of there. That was his goal. And Morales looked like he was trying to hang out in there for a little bit, and it was not happening.
Yeah, you can't always, go in there wanting to hang out. Like, I get it. I get it. But like, I'm trying to take you out. Like, I don't want to be reckless with it, but I need to be strategic about it. Exactly. But I think it's just going to take being more aggressive with technique behind it to secure a lot of wins for people.
Yeah. Speaking of running a long night, didn't take long. Jalton Almeida versus Parker Porter. This was a quick one.
Yeah, it was, and I'm very happy about that.
This was a quick one. It was like
real quick. Porter.
I'm looking at the numbers right now.
When Porter was taken down and Almeida airborne his big ass, like he looked very foreign being down there. Yes. It looked like he did not work being on bottom at all. It looked like he didn't know what to do because he's used to, being in a dominant position, but you have to work all angles. And I'm glad he took that route to make it unexpected, because he didn't even throw a shot. He went immediately in for a shot to take him down. but that's what got him the victory. And
Yes.
so he went up and wait for this fight, which I think is awesome, and came out with the win. Granted, it doesn't always happen like that, but it worked out great for him. And he immediately went for the takedown, worked out. The rear naked after that was constant, and he had constant control, but the commentators were coaching for the half guard for Porter. And, it still didn't save him. So, yeah.
It really didn't, because it's like it was that domination, like where every time he tried to move, he was there, and then he had the punches to keep him occupied when he wanted to change his positions and move around.
Yep.
And it's just like, it's crazy because it's like Parker Porter has 0 significant strikes, 0 takedowns. Like everything is 0. There was nothing he was able to do. And when he caught him,
time to do
the double leg was excellent. Like he knew exactly what he wanted to do, and he did it.
And it worked out for him.
It was almost like, all right, y'all don't want to give me no fight. All right, bet. I'll go up and wait real quick, win a fight, and come back down. Which I want to do. It's not like he really went up anyway.
Yeah, because I'm trying to figure it. I'm like, where is the weight on this man? He just really toned. He was really built. He looked like he had the adrenaline and the tank to go for 3 rounds. But that's a dangerous game to play with a heavyweight. I think he was 40 pounds heavier. It was between 40 and 60
I think he was
pounds.
like, was he like 220 something?
Yeah, and then Parker was like 260 something, if I'm not mistaken. It was a huge difference. I would not want that man on top of me, so I'm happy he was able to get it done quickly, because it could have turned quickly had that man got on top of him.
Parker, I think it could have turned quickly, but at the same time, when big guys get on top of you like that, when they're trying to punch you, they gotta like posture up and stuff. So for him, he would either have to do jiu-jitsu or posture up. And if you posture up, Almeida's getting from under him. And if he does jiu-jitsu, I don't know. That will probably be his best option. He's a brown belt, but Almeida, I guess he's a black belt. So he went in there with like no respect for this dude. Like, it was like he was gonna get him out the way either way. Like, so
I'm looking forward to see what else he has to offer, what's in store for him. I'm excited to see his next fight, because I think it's just going to be exciting.
Exactly. Light heavyweight.
Yeah.
He a problem for the heavyweight and a light heavyweight. Like,
he's like, I'll bounce around. Somebody's
going to put some weight on, like,
if
you put some weight on,
we'll see about it.
Shout out to Almeida for getting the W, round 1. So was that rear naked, getting it done. Next, we got Joseph Ugly Man Holmes versus Alan Amedovsky.
Amedovsky. Yeah. Holmes, I like his mustache, but he caught a knee in round 1. That, it stung him a little bit. But the rear naked got him that TKO he needed. And I'm happy he made it a short night.
Yeah, he snuck that shit in there, because if he would have had to be in there for 2 more rounds with him, it probably would have been very difficult. Probably would have been very deep. Probably wouldn't have came out with the W. So I think it was one point where he probably just realized he had to get it. He had to get it. And plus, like, and it's just like when he's in there, I don't know, he looks new. He looks kind of new. It looks kind of green still. And it's like, and I think that's because, like, once he got his fights, like, because I think it was like Contender Series, it was his last fight, who they put him up against, I think Jamie Pickett, a guy like some super strong black dude that like was like a prospect at one point in time. Those are the people they try to put him up against that. And then they put him up against Amedovsky, who's another prospect, supposed to be like a wrestling guy, pretty much, that was supposed to finish him. and now he got a W off of it. So hopefully, you know what I'm saying, like UFC don't keep the UFC do that. They give certain people dogs and they don't give some people dogs. They let some people just coast up the ranks, like Sugar Sean. They let him just coast up the ranks, fight whoever he want to fight. And then you got guys like Holmes like fighting dogs every fight now.
I think people are catching on as well. So
everybody knows, but it's just like, oh my goodness, he's going to do it again, but I'm going to watch the fight still.
Yes, it's too many weird politics behind the scenes and favoritism, and it's not in the favor of minorities, and you can always see it. But I did like what I don't mean to cut into this, but what is her name? Vieira, Keatlin, who went up against Holly Holmes. She's like, I'm a Brazilian. I'd rather not fight a Brazilian because, you know, it's just like knocking each other out. But they do that with black fighters all the time. They pin them up against each other and say, you know, you guys are both strikers. We're going to figure out which one's the best. And then we're going to elevate that person and just kind of give the other one, just like be like the gatekeeper for other people. And it's just, come on.
Yep. It happens. It happens very frequently.
Yeah, and it sucks. Look, remember Black History Month?
Yeah, like you'll look at a card, and see how often you'll see two white guys fighting. It's not often unless it's higher up in the rankings. You know, because and then that's when the champions end up sifting through the mold, because they're actually elite and they not just put in those spots because of they had a bunch of cans that they beat.
Right.
You know, or they beat somebody that was super good at one point in time and they caught them right at the decline of their career. Or when they were able to study him enough. So it's just like, that's why you get those fast finishes, like with those Conor finishes. Like Conor was able to study those guys before he actually got to them. Those guys was running shit before they got there, and he was able to study it, come out there and make his calculations and make it happen.
Yeah, it's about doing your homework.
Now people are trying to duplicate that, and once they get to that level and they meet the Adesanyas and they meet the Usmans, then that's when it's like it's a quick stop to their show.
I like it.
A quick stop to their show.
I like it.
This one was a weird one. Eric Anders versus Ji-Young Park. And Eric Anders was like coming forward the whole time. Like
the whole time.
Getting takedowns, like, and I think Ji-Young Park was just striking and mixing it up. And he was landing when he needed, but the way he was landing was almost like he was landing out of fear. He was landing out of desperation, out of survival, you know, just trying to counter everything.
Yeah, because Park, I mean, it was a good defense, but every time Anders would press forward, he would put him in a headlock to prevent the takedown. That's good strategy. I get it. You defended the takedown. But it's like, but which one is more beneficial? Me being aggressive or me preventing the takedown? And I guess it depends how you look at it, because you stopped this person from taking you down, but you didn't do anything else after that. All you did was play defense all night. And if you're playing defense with no offense, it's just, what? That means just like you just stopping things from happening. And Anders, he stayed busy trying to get the takedown, and he attempted the takedowns to slow down the attacks. But like, I don't get it. I don't get it.
It's like you said, it's like, you know, if the fight is close enough, they'll give it to the betting favorite. And
he was the betting favorite. He was definitely the betting favorite. But even at the end, he was surprised when he got his hand raised. Even the crowd was surprised. I mean, they was all for it. Like, our dude won, but they was surprised too. And keep it consistent. It's just, it can be very difficult. Like if I'm just judging based on you defending everything and you not being aggressive, that's not consistent.
No.
But but it kind of worked out for what's her name? She just fought Rose. That's kind of the same thing that just happened. Though she was defending. No, she was being aggressive. Rose was running. So that's not the same thing. She was the aggressor. So I understand why she won, but he's the defender. So I don't know. That was weird. That one was weird.
It was weird. This next one was weird. Polyana Viana versus Tabitha Ricci. She just kind of laid on the ground. Like, it's like she wanted to do jujitsu more than actually strike. I think she ain't like being hit.
Probably not, but she was kicking the shit out of her from the ground though. Yeah. And it was getting a little bit frustrating because her corner was very quiet. They've been there for 3 weeks. Charles Oliveira, it was a dude fight last week. They were very vocal, very loud. But for her, they stayed pretty silent. And I didn't like that. Because like, what are y'all training? Because the other players knew how to hit. I get, jujitsu, I get it, but like, you need other weapons in the chamber. And I believe like she was just only going to jujitsu trying to submit her, and it wasn't working out for her. And then she didn't change the game plan. She just kept doing the same thing. So I understand why she lost in this situation. Tabitha was definitely being the aggressor and just trying to make something happen.
Yeah, but it's almost like she wasn't really doing more, but she was doing more. So if that makes any sense, it's like I feel like she wasn't really causing any damage.
That's true.
But she was being more active.
And she was stopping all of what, she was trying to submit order, because if she got her in some really good positions to try to submit her, and she escaped out of all of them. So I can understand why she won in this sense. And what is it? Polania? I don't even know how to say her name. She was just laying on the ground. Girl, you can't be doing that. Can't be out here just laying on the ground, up kicking people. She was making some good connects with those knees, but it was not enough.
Yeah.
Not enough to help her.
Ricci you got to do some type of something when girls are on the ground and going at your knees like that. If you want to have a long career, you can't have somebody just attack your knees literally by themselves. Man,
that crap was making my knees hurt. Just, girl, you see your knee moving like that? I wondered if she have to ice it. She was attacking both of them. So I wondered if she have to ice it after that for a couple of days, because she was just, you can see the tremble in her entire leg whenever she made contact.
Performance of the night. Chidi Njokuani.
It was in Njokuani.
Chidi Njokuani versus Todorovic. Round 1. TKO. Chidi Bang Bang. That's the we could keep it as long as the whole fight was, which really was not that long. It looked like it could have been one of those fights where Todorovic wrestled his way to it, but when you got a jiu-jitsu guy, then like they ain't gonna let that happen too easy.
Yeah, Chidi, he had a Darce that was deep in the beginning. I don't know if when he went to circle around that it got loose, but it was deep. It was very deep. He abandoned it. Cool. Not gonna trip too much about it. And Todorovic, he did a good job staying calm, but that elbow to the face took him out. I didn't expect that. I thought it was gonna be a submission, but that elbow just took him straight out, and I was like, yes.
Well, when I saw him clinching so hard, I was thinking like, hopefully he got like one of those a good like short strike package when it comes to like after the clinch, and apparently he does, because a lot of times like when guys get in around strikers and they start getting touched up too much, that's the first thing they want to do is clinch. And maybe him and Cannonier do a class.
Man, Cannon, I'm excited about that fight.
Him and Cannonier do a class called Dealing with Wrestlers.
Hey, they'll make bank. They'll make bank. Everybody will be passing.
Yeah, all the strikers gonna be like, take my money.
Yep. Please and thank you, real quick. Absolutely, I agree. I agree with that most definitely. Speaking of fight of the night.
Speaking of take my money. If Michael Pierre fighting again, just take my money. Wherever he fighting at, just take my money. Because he's showing that he needs to have a fight night himself. He needs to have a fight night for real, or be on some main card, pay-per-view, something.
Well, he was on this main card. He was the co-main event. And how do you say it?
I'm talking about pay-per-view.
Oh, Ponzinibbio.
Yeah, and he's really good too. Like,
he's
that's
really
what I'm saying.
good.
Like, they not giving Michael Pierre no cans. They're not giving him nobody that's just like a walkthrough. So it's just like they gotta eventually give him some food. You know, he talking about the top 10 and like the ranking. Like, yes, he needs to really. He's in the 14. What he need to get some food.
Pierre had great head movement, and Ponzinibbio, he wanted to connect so bad. He was throwing everything into his punches. Every time he punched for the first 2 rounds, he got a little tired in round 3, but then they started banging, you know, at the end of 3, but it wasn't enough to save him. I did enjoy this fight. I do feel like it was a lot of aggression on both sides. Granted, it didn't go his way. It was still a good fight.
That's 5 in a row. He wants some food.
Yep, he said he wanted to be ranked. He ranked now, so
exactly. So now it's just like I want to see what he does next. Who he fights next. Hopefully, he keeps his focus and he keeps that entertainment side. Like he keeps that side, that fun side that gets him those lands that he gets. A lot of those strikes he touches people just because they are like just so in his world, like trying to figure out what he wants to do and like watching him.
Like when he hit that flip in the middle of the fight.
Yep. Nah, the funniest thing was when he did a backflip on the dude's forehead. I was like, oh my goodness.
That's the one I'm talking about.
Oh my goodness. That one, that was, oh my goodness. Like,
I'd be pissed off.
Yeah, you gotta be mad. Now you a super highlight. Like, because that's like
not a super highlight.
For real. Like, you do a flip on your forehead. God damn.
All right, let's talk about this disappointment of Holly Holmes and Caitlin.
I was trying to. But either way, main event. Shout out to Vieira. She got in there, and she was trying to. Okay, let me just. Holly Holm got robbed in the way of how I would view a fight. If someone's pressing you up against the cage and touching you when they want to, that is like a certain form of control. You know, I've seen people win like that. TJ Dillashaw versus Sandhagen. That's the main one that I've seen somebody win by pushing somebody up against the cage. In this fight, it's almost like it wasn't like that. It's like she tried to use that formula and it didn't work. So now Vieira won. She was more dominant. She was mixing it up, I guess.
Real quick. Holly Holm grabbed the cage for that rear naked. Nobody said nothing. That shit was deep. She got out of it. That was deep. She was going. It looked like she tapped. I don't know why that fight continued, but it looked like she tapped. Yeah. She was tired in round 3 and hurt and tired, but she still kept pushing forward. Vieira, she was fucking her up with the knees, but she needed to be more aggressive. And that was like the only thing I was screaming for, is for her to be more aggressive. Like she had everything there, but she wasn't being aggressive, and she just got caught on the defense a lot. So I was just wanting more from her. I did want her to win, but not like this.
Not like this, no.
So this was a robbery. Said, not this way.
It was a robbery. It was a robbery.
That was, yeah.
Sorry to hear that, but like I wanted Vieira to win anyway in my heart, but I put money on Holly Holm, so I was upset either way. so like, because that's how it was supposed to go. But hey, it's the RoundHouse RoundTable. This was the No Cap recap for UFC Vegas 55. Make sure y'all tune in with us on iTunes, Spotify, Amazon, anywhere.
That's why I use the heat as a sword, cause keep the peace is important. They go keys for you. Say please. That's 1, please. Don't need. No 1, that's 2, please. Don't leave. That's 3, 4. If you do